That's when I knew.
So we are going to have to push through this because we're coming
Very
up to
fine.
questions. So tell us what the long and short of it is.
The long and the short of it is we have the honor to present at the California Institute of Technology 1 week from Monday at the Nobel laureate graced Beckman Institute Auditorium, a peculiar silicate-associated phenomenon. It will be a 1-hour presentation from 4:15 to 5:15 p.m. Everyone within the sound of my voice is welcome to attend. It is free. The mixer starts at 3:45, and there's a 15-minute question and answer period thereafter. This has been presented online in the public since last September. And the members of the aviary who have been calling me a liar, who say that they have the deepest, darkest connections inside the United States government, have not been able to find it on a public website. End of story for them.
Yeah.
These wonderful people that you just saw, the list of names, individuals on the that's the public website, there we are. Individuals on the left who have provided direct assistance for the research, including Bill Hamilton, David Wilcock. David will be there a week from Monday. He provided us with salient and important information for other individuals who have actually replicated on their own independently much of the work that we've done. And we're going to be presenting that evidence as well.
Now, who actually invited you to speak? What group, what department?
That is the Applied and Computational Mathematics Department. Dr. Awadi was pleased that we like to apply a mathematical basis to some of the research, and we are going to be presenting a serious data set there as well, and original, enhanced, as well as raw color motion pictures of the portals.
And
the real deal is going to be shown for the first time. This is a nice composite overlay showing the sort of data that we're going to be able to show.
So you get a really in-depth presentation of the slides and what you have been capturing under the particular lens there, under your microscopes, and this will really set the stage, I'm sure, for other talks that are starting to follow.
We're hoping to continue, but what we want to do, this is going to be a science.
If you have a question, you can, we're going to be taking questions at this microphone on the right-hand side of the stage, so if you have any, please come up.
This is going to be restricted to science. It's going to be the hard physical basis, the hard empirical research that we've done, and what we know to date and what we do not know to date. However, that is not the whole story of Lotus. We've spoken here about the options of a metaphysical component through the process. And so to give a complete picture to this, we are also planning on presentations in one variety or another, and we've not settled on anything to date, which will then combine the metaphysics involving the flower of life, the Metatron's cube, the idea of a metaphysical basis component to this with the hard science, so that we give a complete picture to the population as to what this may mean to everyone. Obviously, we're grateful. I don't deserve to have found what we found, but we have.
All right. All right, let's take some questions. Please come up to the microphone, and let's try and get through as many as we can here.
Thank goodness I can see human faces now.
Yeah, they're out there.
Oh, there's a few of you out there.
Go ahead. What's your question?
I thought it was just this front row here.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about your non-human friend. You say he's an emotional being, and you have emotional contact. So in aftermath, can you say something about his personality that you think you discovered?
Yes.
That's one question. The other one is, your wife helped you out of this horrible situation that you didn't want to be in, that you were caught in. Can you say a little bit more what she did what touched you, or how did she get you out of the situation?
Okay, we
Okay.
have to separate individuals between Dr. McDowell, who is sitting up front here,
Yeah.
and my wife, Deborah.
Okay, yeah, 2 questions there.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
He would joke with me. He was a joking, happy, very ill little gentleman. And he would even joke with me to the point where he would, as I was writing the protocols on the side of the clean sphere, because I couldn't remember them offhand, there were so many of them, I was supposed to memorize them, I would write them backward. I'm dyslexic, so it was easy for me to write backward. I would write them backward on the clean sphere, and as I was doing it, he'd take his finger and he would, from the inside of the clean sphere, go over my letters as I was writing it.
So your sense of humor would be key.
He was an it was great humor. He was an extraterrestrial of human lineage. He was a human being. The reason why she is sitting here right now is because her family, as well as my wife's family, were directly associated with the earliest MJ-12 group. And the particular individual with whom they were associated was Forrestal.
Yeah, because when we want more people to come forward like you know, we must learn from your case. How do you do it? And the wife is obviously a very important person in this picture.
Do you have anything to say about how your wife has been a support mechanism?
She is very deferring. She is very deferring because of her close family associations, which remain with the former Majestic. Extremely deferring to the original secrecy. She has been filmed a little bit. She is on record with an affidavit under penalty of perjury as well concerning the Sunni document that she stole from me and handed it over to the Majestic. And she indicates it in there, and she said, I took it from him because I was told to.
You have a question? Thank you. You have a question?
Realities are hard sometimes.
Go ahead.
Dan, could you please clarify what the, excuse me, what the portal is and what its function is?
Sure. It's a plasma phenomenon, a highly organized plasma phenomenon, which seems to emit material and communicate with that material once the material is emitted into the environment. There is a deposition of material into cells in the environment, which appears retrovirally based, as well as possibly containing a positive sense messenger RNA. Yes, sir.
Russell.
Well, I feel like I missed half of this lecture. Could you please tell us where in space-time your little J-Rod friend comes from and something about his origins?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Straight question.
He was a P plus 52,000 year, in other words, 52,000 years from our future on an alternate timeline, which had crossed over due to a disequilibrium, which we call the doctrine of the convergent timelines paradox. That disequilibrium is now restabilizing itself. The universes are parting from one another, and that's that wonderful time that was spoken of by the ancients, even the Mayans. We are not approaching a time of disaster. We are approaching a time of renaissance. And that time of renaissance, just like Dr. Wheeler has theorized that we can look at the passage of a single photon across the cosmos, going in two different directions at the same time, and that we can decide by which direction we look, which path it took billions of years ago. We all can create a renaissance in our future, the same way we can decide our own past.
So would this
And
be,
that's what unity means.
so would this be in harmony with Jacques Vallée's idea that the ETs that we're seeing come to us from the future rather than from distant space? Would that be a fair construal?
This is, sir, yes. This is true.
So we should be able to communicate with them now if we can expand our consciousness.
In theory, I wouldn't be one to argue with you.
All right, we've got time for maybe 1 or 2 more. What's your question?
Yeah, Omaha, Nebraska, MUFON UFO Study Group, Henry Middlebrook, team captain. Dan, when we go back to Omaha, you always say, tell the world. What should we tell the world when we get back to Omaha?
The only thing that I've asked is to pray for, meditate on, whatever is in your philosophy, your positive path philosophy for unity for humanity. It was observed in the looking glass during the T2 catastrophe that one of the things that we did not do is become united as a people. Therefore, it becomes critical, even if you spend a moment or two, to think about us all being one people, because that's all we are. Sure, we can draw lines on a map, and they're only as good as the next map we draw, but we always remain united with each other. So it is a matter, it is a critical matter. That's what Tell the World means. The original image which came out for Tell the World was a dove with an olive branch. Tell the world unity. Yes, sir.
In all your work with the EBs or the subject in Area 51, did you ever have a chance to look at the comparative sampling from the autopsies of other subjects that were brought in?
We looked at the comparative samplings from other dissections, from the autopsies of other J-rods, yes. I've not seen any of the material from the Orions whatsoever, biological material, that is. We also used comparative samples from present-day human beings who decided to be transported because of their connections with the government, who were dying, to be transported to S4 and to subject themselves to living well up there while they were alive in a comfortable death, and then finally giving their material over for use in the grafting process while we were attempting to ameliorate the neuropathy.
As one who has seen documents of EB retrievals from South Africa and Brazil, I want to thank you for your pioneering work.
Thank you, sir.
You have established a true benchmark in scientific history.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks.
This man I know. This is Ron Garner. His name
Ron
is
Gardner.
up on the...
Welcome. What's your question, Ron?
Yes, I wanted to thank you for acknowledging me on your screen here. I have 40 hours of video of this gentleman. I spent 6 years of my life verifying everything that he said and a lot more. I came to the Congress here with the hope that I could talk to the governing committee. I brought all the documentation. I have it in my room right now. I have transcripts. I have validation from his university professors.
Ron, we're just about out of time, Ron.
Everything that they would need to verify what he's saying, because it's such a controversy on the internet.
We've got about a minute and a half left.
Okay, I'll give the Dr. Lear
Now,
because...
What I'll say is this. I have sworn under penalty of perjury to what I've said. I have multiple affidavits out there. I've sworn under penalty of perjury. If I'm called before a court of law, I will support those affidavits in full.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to have to leave it. Thank you so much. This has been the first Disclosure Dialogue with Dan Burisch.
Thank you. Thank you. It's you.